targeting everyone in marketing is the exact same as saying you're targeting nobody. So I told the guy, I was like, you have impossible targeting. You're targeting the world. That's not targeting. That's like shotgun. Think like a sniper instead. There's 3 different ways that I think about the customers inside of a marketplace. Customers are not created equally. In order for there to be a dream customer, by definition, there has to be a nightmare customer. But funny enough, I'm using the exact same thing to sell tickets to our wedding. And yes, we are actually selling tickets to our wedding because it's hilarious and it's so us. So, well, it's terrible. The best way to get a hell customer is to pitch and talk to and attract the diehards within a marketplace. In this video, I'm going to teach you one of my favorite targeting tricks on how we get the most traffic and the best buyers, and how I'm actually using that very same theology to sell tickets to my wedding. That's right. About 10 years ago, I was building a funnel for this company that sold water filters. I was in college. There was no other person on the planet that I really knew of who was building funnels at that time. Maybe like 1 or 2, but they were authors and famous people. So I was like, I'm eager. I'm going to go out and I'm going to test this concept. I'm going to prove that I can do this. And I was very, very excited to get out there and go build funnels. So I found this client. I said, I'll build a funnel for you for free. I just want the practice. I'm a college student. That's kind of the angle that I took. It's back in 2014, 2015, which is crazy to me. I sit down there and I start building the funnel for this guy, and I start going through my normal questions. Now pay attention to these questions because they're the same questions that I ask, whenever I'm building a funnel for anybody. Like yesterday, we're helping a law firm build a funnel right now. It's part of our Titans of Industry program. We always build their first funnel for them, and it's the same questions. So I was asking this water company, 2015, right? And I was like, hey, who's your dream customer? And he's like, well, we got this water filter and it's amazing and it helps so many people drink better, cleaner water. And we have an affiliate program. And I kid you not, he goes,
everyone needs to drink more water and everyone could use a little extra money. So everybody is our dream customer.
And I remember I was on the phone with him and I was like, what? No. Now, here's the trick with people whenever they're going out and they're building their products is the visionary within each one of us sits back and says, this could change the world. Everybody needs this. And although you might be right, targeting everyone in marketing is the exact same as saying you're targeting nobody. So I told the guy, I was like, you have impossible targeting. You're targeting the world. That's not targeting. That's like shotgun. Think like a sniper instead. And so I had to coach him through this and help him realize like the best people to sell are not people who drink water. He's like, but we're a water company. And I was like, no. Yes, everybody drinks water, but that's not how you're going to position this product for the easiest sales. So here's what I want you guys to write down. There's 3 different ways that I think about the customers inside of a marketplace. Customers are not created equally. I've said this so many times on this channel, but I'll just keep repeating it because everyone forgets it, which is that in order for there to be a dream customer, by definition, there has to be a nightmare customer. And we should be honest about the fact that they do exist. And the confusing part to a business owner is that both are a customer. They both pay you. When I was sitting down and thinking about targeting for a wedding, I went through my 3 buyer persona profiles. So here they are, right? Here's the 3 different types of people that exist in every marketplace. And there's one that's really easy to target. There's one that tends to pay you more than all the others. There's one that has the shortest sales cycle and the shortest fulfillment cycle post-purchase. And I've written about this in a few different famous books, actually. In fact, I'm writing a book on this right now called Red Ocean Blue Offer. But funny enough, I'm using the exact same thing to sell tickets to our wedding. And yes, we are actually selling tickets to our wedding because it's hilarious and it's so us. So wow, there's a link in the description. In fact, let me know if you're coming. A lot of you guys have been watching these videos and you're coming, and I'm so excited you got a ticket. We're stoked to have you. I got another video on that if you want to check it out on why we're doing that. Buyer persona number 1. I call them the diehard. Now you think about every single market, it's just like smartphones, right? There are diehard Apple fans. I'm sure someone's got a tattoo of an Apple logo on their arm or something, right? There's diehards. Diehards are the people that do that kind of a thing. A diehard is so wrapped up into the product that they bought that their literal identity is part of that product. You can see this across the board. Who is it that's going to go see the midnight opening showing of a movie and they've read every one of the books and they got the author's signature when the new book came out? Those are diehards. Now, the worst person on the planet to sell and pitch to and to market to is diehards, unless it's for your product. But if I'm going into a brand new marketplace, like really hear me on this, 10% of that marketplace are the diehards, and they want nothing else than to buy that company's next product. They will only and ever get into fights with people about their current product. Have you ever seen 2 diehards fight? If it's like the Super Bowl and you got a fan of each team in the room and they're both diehards and they just fight the whole time, nobody wins the argument. Someone wins the game, but no one wins the argument, and they just duke it out. They're like looking for a fight. They're so passionate about the brand that they bought into, but they want to fight. Now, I'm not saying that a diehard can't change and a diehard can't go buy a different product or your product, but it literally causes an identity crisis with inside that personality type to go buy from you. So here's the trick about diehards. Let's say that you are Steve Jobs. You're going to be a diehard about your product. You should be a diehard about your own product. So the challenge when you're marketing on the internet is that because you're a diehard, you tend to speak the language patterns of a diehard. You're a diehard. So how do you speak? What's the copy that you write? What's the marketing material that you go and you put out there or shoot or put out whatever? You talk like a diehard because you are a diehard and you should be a diehard. But who does that attract? Other diehards. Does this make sense? It's one of the biggest mistakes that people make in their marketing is the inner entrepreneur is the one that wrote their copy. The inner diehard entrepreneur is the one that created their marketing. And so they get super feature focused. They're blinded by their own product. They don't know how it's to talk. They're like, our product is the best because it's the best. We have the best features, the best benefits. And they get really comparative. That's a diehard language pattern. And as an entrepreneur and as a marketer, when you speak diehard, you attract other diehards in the market and nobody wins. Sales gets harder. The sales cycle increases. It gets more challenging to convince people to buy from you and they're hell in your fulfillment. It's terrible. The best way to get a hell customer is to pitch and talk to and attract the diehards within a marketplace. Does that make sense? So thinking about our wedding, guess who we're not trying to attract to come buy a ticket to our wedding? People who are like, you're literally destroying the sanctity of marriage. That is the worst idea on the planet. I can't believe you guys would go do this. Why would I go buy a ticket to your wedding? That's the dumbest thing possible. I will waste my time and my literal life chatting with those people in the DMs, trying to convince them to see, that's not what we're going for. I'm not going for the diehards. The second persona, and they're the ones that make up the majority of the marketplace, is a category that I call the satisfieds. The satisfied is, the majority of the market. Let's say it's 80% of the marketplace. Most of the marketplace, they're satisfied with the current thing that they've bought. They bought from competitor X from you. They bought the product for the sake of this. They're like, I'm not an Apple diehard. It's the thing that I have and it's the thing that I use. And switching is more pain than the current pain that I feel with my Apple phone. Does that make sense? It's like if Samsung came over to Apple customers and was like, come switch over here. You can sell those people. They're more likely to buy than the diehards. But they're always the ones that get into like feature wars. They're the ones that price shop you. They're the ones that nickel and dime your contract down because they're not enough pain to make the switch. And so satisfieds is most of humanity. The satisfied personality type inside of a marketplace is the personality that is like, tends to be the one that you talk to the most in your marketing, but they're the ones that will constantly chew down your margins. They're the ones that will constantly say, that's too expensive. They're the ones that take forever to buy, even though they will buy eventually. Yeah, a lot of them, they take forever. And so the trick, again, of you being a diehard of your own product, which you should be, you can't speak diehard and you can't speak satisfied. Satisfieds are like, they're the people that are like, yeah, I know that there's problems, but I really don't see a reason right now. Yeah, I'm busy. I'm going to pick up my kids and I've got a trip next week and they're not in any hurry. And so the way you get someone who's satisfied to move forward is you have to do all these scarcity and urgency things. Well, here's why you should buy now. Buy one, get one free before midnight and 50% off if you go get it before, during this promotional thing that we're doing. That's how you have to talk to people who are satisfied to get them to take action because they're just not in enough pain to take action on their own. Does that make sense? So guess who we're also not trying to go after? We spend a chunk of our time with people who are the satisfieds in terms of our marketing for selling tickets to our wedding. It's not really who we're going for. Does this make sense? Okay, because we do the same thing when we're marketing, like this law firm we're building a funnel for right now. He's got a really awesome YouTube thing that he does. I was talking about this with him, and in my mind, what we're doing is we create people's first VSL or low ticket funnel so they can get daily leads, And so onboarding him yesterday, I went through all my normal questioning, and in my head, what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out where is the target inside of this market that when they see his offer, they didn't even have to finish hearing what the offer is. They're like throwing a credit card at him, right? It's like, whoa! And it's not going to be the diehards, and it's definitely not going to be the satisfieds. It's actually a third personality type. The third personality type, I call them the frustrated. And what's so beautiful about the frustrated personality type is that they know they're frustrated. They're aware of it. Now, this is very different than what a lot of marketers go do. This is one of my biggest positioning tricks for any product. The frustrated personality type already is aware that they're frustrated. Why this matters so much is that basically every copywriting course I've ever seen, what they do is they're like, the first thing you have to do is you have to go agitate their problem. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to talk about their problem, but I don't want to educate someone. Like, really think about this. Think about that person that you've sold in the past that you had to spend a lot of time showing them that they had a problem. Like, they weren't self-aware that they had an issue. They weren't self-aware that the solution you've created fits them. You have to go through all this awareness stuff. For this law firm, he's a YouTube agency that he goes out and he helps people get more leads through YouTube for their law firms. Very unique. The worst person for him to go target is somebody who doesn't already see that social media and the internet can be used to get leads. If someone doesn't already believe that, it means he's got to spend a ton of time educating that person on the fact that, oh my gosh, I can use the internet. Like, think about how much that increases the amount of education someone has to go through before they're willing to make a purchase. Classic example of this. Let's go back to that water company. They sold water filters. Well, the worst person for that company to go out and sell is somebody who doesn't already believe that there's a lot of poison in our water. And there is, by the way. If someone's already not open to that thought, it doesn't mean they can't buy from him. But the person who's selling those water filters 10 years ago, he's going to have to go through and educate this person. And that costs time. That costs money. That increases the sales cycle. The pre-purchase timeline literally goes up because I have to go through and teach them that they have a problem. They're not already frustrated. They're not already aware. And so what is it that this third personality type is already frustrated with? Oh, baby, that's literal $1 million question. What I want my dream customer to already be frustrated with is the current product that they've already bought from my competition. Think about it. Who's the easiest person for Samsung to go sell? Someone who already is not loving Apple. Someone who already has a chip on their shoulder with some aspect of it. Someone who already has bought an Apple smartphone. Someone who's already bought the iPhone. Because if they've already bought it, what it means is that they've already opened their wallet before. Doing this is, I call this piggyback marketing. Piggyback marketing is a concept that I've come up with where I actually go after the people who are already buying from my competitors. And it's so funny because when I was in college, I was getting my marketing and business degree. We were literally told that,
oh my gosh, I can't go pitch that person because they're already buying from my competitor. Oh, woe is me. I can't go after that person because my competition has already gone off and sold them.
And that's not true at all. Like, when I was a door-to-door sales guy selling pest control, we would target the houses that had a pest control sign in their front yard. And people go, that doesn't make sense. They already have pest control. They already have the service. Like, man, you don't understand. What that means is that that person has already practiced opening their wallet. That means that that person has already overcome any buying objections from my competitor. That means that my competitor has literally educated my customer for me. My competition literally is grooming and producing my dream customer for me. And when you have that mentality with it, you're like, holy crap. That drastically shortens the amount of education that my company is going to have to go do in order to go sell that person. Like, when you think about this, when somebody has bought from my competition, all it was a dress rehearsal for when they buy from me. Oh, wait a second. This is a key question. I want you guys to ask the same question about your marketing. I asked this question yesterday to this guy with this law firm and this YouTube agency. What product do you want your dream customer to have already purchased before you would consider them to be your dream customer? And he goes, I want them to have already bought some kind of social media, like how to get leads from social media, that kind of a product. And I was like, perfect. I asked that same question to the guy who was helping men get their life back together with these secret addictions. And I said, in your dream scenario, what product do you want your dream customer to have already have purchased to try to get their life back together? He said, I want my dream customer to already have opened their wallet and purchased and attended Tony Robbins' UPW event. And I said, well, that's freaking easy. Here's what the ad is. The marketing turns into, just left Tony Robbins' UPW event, hype worn down, changes not made yet. Click here when you're ready to actually make the change. See how that's piggybacking off of the category kings, the market makers, the big brands? And so what you start realizing is that anybody who's gone off and purchased from your dream customer is literally a dress rehearsal for buying from you. It does all these positive things for you. They're educated off the back of your competition. They've opened their wallet, which means they're not a freeloader. They've gone and they've practiced overcoming objections to purchasing. They've invested time, not just money. They've mentally and emotionally been to other and new places that people who are the satisfieds and the the diehards probably haven't. They're already aware that they didn't get the result that they were hoping for. These are the easiest people to pitch, the frustrateds. The frustrateds are amazing. It's my favorite category to go after. And it's funny because it's the exact opposite of what college taught me. College was like, what's the total market you can go after? Imagine if you just got 1% of that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, what's the size of the marketplace and how big is the frustrated category who are already buying things? They're the easiest people to pitch. That type of buyer personality and persona is somebody they're already looking for something else to buy. Their money is burning a hole in their pocket. And so all they really need is they need to be shown that there is another option to purchase. They're the easiest people to sell. They're the easiest people to target. It's not a challenging category to go after because of how much psychographic work has already gone inside the person's mind. So tying it back to our wedding, who do you think would be the easiest category of people to go sell to sell tickets to our wedding? Who are the frustrated? Guess who's been really, really receptive? We have hundreds of people come to our wedding, by the way. If you choose to get a ticket, which we'd love to have you come, by the way, it's not a small thing, but who's actually buying a ticket? It's all these people who are jaded by how expensive it is to get married. They already are familiar with the ridiculous costs that these places place on a new couple. That's the easiest category. And that's been the easiest category to go after. We're not trying to sell tickets to our wedding to make money. We're selling tickets to our wedding to like, hey, don't buy us a toaster. We don't need another toaster. We don't need stuff. Just pay for your meal, and that's part of the issue that's been happening. We went out and we saw that there was a $650 cake cutting fee and we're like, $650. All right. And then they're like, by the way, if you choose to cut it, it's also a fee. And we're like, what? Like we got nickel and dimed like crazy. You think about it, you go into debt if, you went to school and then for a car and then for a house and then you go into debt when you get married. It's like, it's debt. And so we're like, we're not trying to make money on this, but we have big internet followings and a lot of people want to come to our wedding. We want people to come, but then it just continually adds more to the cost. And so we're like, let's just have a big party. Our ticket is like $50 or something. People spend more than that on a gift and people spend more than that on a sit-down meal now. And it's like, that's all we're doing. So people hear that and they're like, you're selling tickets to your wedding? It's like, well, there's a little more to it than that. We're selling tickets to our wedding saying we're going to take that money and go dump it into the food budget. Like we're not having flowers. We don't have centerpieces. We don't care about that crap. We don't have like a traditional wedding party. Marley has a maid of honor. I have a best man, but that's it. It's very non-traditional style wedding. And then we created kind of like, this is the sacredness and sanctity of marriage. Nothing will pierce that. But like someone wanted to sponsor our wedding vows. That's weird. No. This is still a marriage. I take that extremely seriously. What we're doing though is everything outside that little bubble. We're like, heck, let's have some serious fun with this thing. So who we've been targeting and the messaging and the way, the copy, if you will, on how we've been able to go and literally market. We have a funnel. It's an actual funnel for selling tickets to our wedding. Has been to the frustrated. The diehards freaking hate that we're doing it. That's okay. The positioning is not meant for them. Right? The satisfieds, that's okay. They like raise an eyebrow and they're like, I don't know about this. And we talk to them and they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. 90% of people, once we talk to them, they're like, actually, that makes a lot of sense. Why don't more people do that? It's been the frustrated, the people who are still in debt because they got married a long time ago, or the people who are like, how come I didn't think about that? And then we're donating a lot of money, like to go build, one of our favorite charities is this charity called Village Impact. Marley and I flew over to Africa. We each built a classroom a couple years ago. It was before she and I ever got together. So anyways, that's what we're also doing. The day before the wedding, we're doing a relationship day. Now, we feel pretty unqualified to say, here's how to have an amazing relationship. We're negative 1 days married. Like, that's not what it is. What we're doing is we're bringing in all these coaches and relationship people and people who really have impacted our relationship and relationship skills, because relationship is a skill. They're coming in and they're putting on a 1 day seminar. We're giving a chunk of time to each one of these key individuals in our life. That's the day before the wedding. The day after the wedding is where we have a biohacker brunch, and we're bringing in, like, there's a brain doctor that we work with. His whole goal is to optimize our brain by the numbers 30%. He's a really cool dude. He's going to come in and do some biohacking thing. We have breathwork stuff. His cold plunges. It's very unique, and we know it's unique and weird. And the people that we've not, like, who've been hating it, it's the true principle of all marketing. When someone just is like throwing rocks hard at you, don't waste your time trying to sell them. It is a waste of your time to try to sell that person. They're either a frustrated who doesn't care, or they're a diehard and they just hate your guts because you woke up that day, and that's it. That's what we're doing. That's how, funny enough, we're using legitimate marketing principles to literally drive traffic to our wedding funnel. So, which is, it's coming up. So leave it to us to use true funnel and marketing principles to actually go sell tickets to our wedding. Link is down below. Love to have you guys. Also down below in the comments, let me know if you love the idea, if you hate it. I'm bulletproof, so you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I'd love that there's no feedback. We know it's a weird idea, but we have an energy drink sponsor. We just talked to a PR firm, and we're gonna see if we can't get on the Today Show or Good Morning America with this. It's big. It's gonna be big deal. And a lot of people are waiting to buy tickets because they're like, you actually want me to come? We're like, yeah, right. You can come to our wedding and we would love that. All the details are down below in that link. It's crashthepartywithstephenmarley.com if you want to come. But funny enough, we are absolutely using these principles just like we would in any marketing project because it's no different. Awesome, guys. See you guys there if you're coming. Let me know what you think about it down below. See you guys in the next video. Bye.